My phone is ringing. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing, my friend?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, the big line has rung. The big line has rung. Who am I speaking to?
Chris Tavares-Finson is my name.
Christian Tavares-Finson, and I understand you are the legal counsel for Vybz Kartel. You're part of the legal team.
That's correct.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in your position now with all the things that we've been hearing for the last few months or weeks or so. Let's start off. How is Vybz Kartel doing? When's the last time you've spoken to him?
We were in court last week dealing with a number of his matters. And in fact, we're a bit frustrated in terms of how slow the system is working at this stage. But, you know, we're pressing on. We have a lot of work to do. We were granted bail in the Supreme Court last week in relation to one of his matters. So we are making some amount of progress, and we're keeping positive, and we know that we're moving forward with our matter.
Now, you are the son of Tom Tavares-Finson, right? Who is I remember a little boy growing up. He's the big lawyer in Jamaica. Am I correct?
So if you say so.
So he's the big lawyer in Jamaica. You are the junior big lawyer. Now, why did you follow in the footsteps of your father? Is just a natural progression, or you feel that you had to live up to his big shoes?
Well, spending a lot of time around him and hearing how he expressed himself and how he went about doing what he does, you know, it made sense to me that this is the path that I wanted to follow.
Okay.
So it wasn't a situation where he, you know, had to force me to do anything. It was just something that made sense to me.
Now, you heard Vybz Kartel when I was interviewing him just a few weeks before this thing happened, where he talked about, you know, Vybz Kartel has positioned his mind that I asked him about, you know, you got the biggest record in America, you know, you had the biggest record, you couldn't come here to promote it.
Right.
And he says, you know, it's all mental with Vybz Kartel, and that he positioned his mind to deal with it. How is he dealing with being placed under lock and key for such a long time? It has happened to him before, but never for this extent. Am I correct?
It has happened to him in the past for short periods of time.
But never this long.
Never this long. However, he has handpicked his legal team, in which he has the fullest of confidence in. You know, and it is something that we sit down with him on a regular basis and discuss as far as his instructions to us are concerned. We keep him up to date as to what is happening with his matters, and he, you know, does ask to see all the documents that are served on the defense so he can instruct us properly.
No doubt, this guy is a very intelligent guy. When you speak to this guy is by not in any way, shape, or form a stupid guy. Very well read, can orchestrate what he's trying to get across verbally extremely well. Are you in agreement with me?
Absolutely, and I think it makes our job easier dealing with an individual of this, you know, level of intelligence. It is something that we do take on board, and we do take on board everything that he says and look into it, you know, with a view to you know, forwarding his case, putting his case forward.
Now, for the audience out there, everybody's wondering, like what, if you can tell us, what is Kartel's days like in jail? Like what happens? He got TV, you know, and a lot of people are trying to figure out. I mean, what does he do? What is his days like? What is the situation in the place where he's kept? Is it a tough situation? Is it relaxed? Is he constantly on the watching key? And then I'm getting to all the things that have been spread all over the internet about all the things that have happened. But how is this day like, based on the knowledge that you have?
Let me set the record straight as far as this rumor that was spreading about him escaping in a hail of bullets. He did not escape. He did not try to escape. And in fact, he was in court the following morning when it was carried that he was said to be at large. I can't speak to what kind of conditions he's living under currently, but I do know that he's coping, he's confident, and he's positive, you know, in his defense team. It is something that we are working on to get him out constantly. It is very important for us keep close to him and keep his instructions on board at all times in dealing with his matters. You can appreciate that he does have 2 murder cases before the courts now, so it is something that we take very seriously, and we take his freedom and his liberty very seriously. And I am of the view that these rumors that you see spreading from time to time, coincidentally, usually arise the day before he goes to court. And I'm of the view that, this sort of thing is done to prejudice any bail application that we would seek to make when he.
I never thought about that. So you're saying that just before court date, by some miraculous means, these ludicrous things come out about Vybz Kartel, and that could have a negative impact.
It does have a negative impact, and it's not the first time that it has happened. In fact, the last time when we went to court, the police were broadcasting that they had 5 more murders to charge him for. This has not happened yet, and this was the day before we were going to court on that occasion. The day before we were going to court on this occasion, you hear that he had escaped. So, as far as we are concerned, this is not a circus. This is somebody's life and liberty that we're dealing with here, and we take these things very seriously.
Okay, now
so it is not a situation where, because this man is an entertainer, people, this is not something that we take lightly. So it is, very, very important that we look at all documents. We have service of all documents that the prosecution intend to rely on, so we can mount our defense. And whenever it is that the prosecution is ready to proceed with the matters, we will be ready.
You'll be ready. Okay, listen to this. In the latest news we heard, Kartel remanded into custody again as his defense wait for video and voice evidence from prosecution no later than December 15th. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay.
In fact, we were in court about weeks ago when we first heard about these video and voice recordings. They were to be served on us at that time. We have not seen anything. There is now a further date when these documents are to be served on us, and who knows what will happen between now and 15th of December. But whatever it is, we'll be putting ourselves in a position to proceed when we go back to court.
So the prosecution is saying that they do have a video and voice evidence, but before anything can continue, that video and voice evidence has to be handed over to his defense, which is you and your dad and his team.
Absolutely.
You talked about 2 murders in the news after we heard about the first one. We heard that maybe that there was 6, 7, or 8 more murders that, based on what you're talking about, the rumors that are being spread, we heard maybe that there's a possibility that he could have been charged for 8 murders.
That goes right back to what I was saying. He has been in custody for almost 3 months now, and we haven't seen anything else. So as far as we are concerned, nothing else exists.
Wow. Now, some people are saying that this may be excessive use of power to be able to keep Vybz Kartel in prison for so long and not allowing him to have bail. Do you agree with that?
I'm not entirely sure what is the motive behind it or who is behind it. And we, as a defense, try to keep very focused in terms of what it is that we have to do. And, our main objective is to get him out as quickly as possible.